like at the end of this, did we get some viewers last time or comments and stuff?
Yeah. All right, guys, we are live for Culz Sports Chat, episode 7. It's a special one today because it's Brendan's birthday. So if you're watching live, make sure give it a comment. But we wanted to help wish Brendan a happy birthday. Matt's still looking for a rematch on his bowling game that we played last birthday trip out there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
So another exciting week of NFL football is behind us. Pretty exciting, though. It seems like perhaps the Madden curse may be gone, but the Monday Night Football curse is real. Because for the third Monday night game in a row, or a week in a row, I should say, because I think was Hamlin's a Monday night game where he got hurt?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so you have Hamlin getting hurt on a Monday night. Then last week, Aaron Rodgers. This week, Nick Chubb takes an absolutely brutal hit to the leg.
Oh, yeah.
I really saw the replay for that, and someone posted it on Facebook, and I was like, damn, your leg is not supposed to bend that way.
Yeah, you can see why they didn't want to show it again on the live show. Yeah, we obviously we're sending out all our thoughts and prayers to him. We hope he comes back. He's a great player. His teammates and NFL world love him. Just you hate to see any injury, but one that could be. Matt left the stage for some reason, but any injury like that could be career threatening is just no good.
Because it's the same one he tore his
in
MCL,
college.
PCL.
Yeah. It's a rough one, man. That's just a rough injury. Just like can't even really rewatch it. Just the way his leg bent. Very scary for him, you know.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe the Monday night curse is a real thing. Another big piece of news that we should talk about is the Broncos in 2 games are now worse than 2 games with Nathaniel Hackett. I know this may be shocking.
Nathaniel Hackett can't coach.
Yeah, and they spent a first rounder to go 0-2. Now, we did have some controversy on one of our shorts, so we wanted to pull up some numbers to just show you guys where Russ is, because people said he'd be putting up numbers, right? That's what they told us, right, Matt?
That's what I heard, man.
And the big thing is, if you play football at all, you're putting up some sort of numbers. So, I mean, that is true. He is putting up numbers. But statistically, he's pretty close to what he was doing last year. He's actually thrown for less yards this year, more touchdowns, but his team is still not winning. Matt, obviously, probably not gaining any points on your quarterback tier list, but how do you feel about Mr. Unlimited in week 2?
When it's coming up prime time, man, it's like, you show up first half, looked really good. It's like, all right, maybe he is coming around. And then the second half, again, everyone's so quick to throw the defense under the bus, but I'm sorry, how many points did the Broncos score in the second half? Yeah. Where did the offense go? Why are we blaming everything on the defense? Again, where's Russ? And I get it. Everyone says, he puts up numbers. Yeah, guess what? So does Kirk Cousins for the Vikings. He puts up great numbers. I mean, but does he win the big games? No. So, I mean, Russ and Kirk Cousins are both in that same boat. They've got great numbers. Yeah, you look it up and down, but they're not getting the W. That's the most important part about football, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and once again, it makes you wonder about the scripted parts where they do good. Because obviously, you script a certain amount of plays going into the game. And that's usually when the Broncos look. 15. Yeah, it depends on the coach, 15 to 25. And that's, again, when the Broncos look decent. But once they have to go with the flow, it seems like they hit a wall.
Yeah, they can't do it.
And I know a lot of people, we've seen it, I'm sure Matt knows what I'm talking about, are going to say they missed a pass interference, right? But at the same time, the Broncos were up 18 points, right? You shouldn't have been in that spot.
No, that situation.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been in that spot. Mr. Unlimited, come on. What are we doing? Ty, any thoughts on Mr. Unlimited tonight?
No, it was just the second half was pretty sloppy when you look at it.
Matt, how is the petition of sending him to Canada we're going?
Good, man. They're like, oh, dude. Those are people up in Canada who want him, so.
All right, so Matt says there is people in the Canadian Football League that would take Russell Wilson. Brendan, today, how are you feeling about your guys' quarterback up in Philadelphia? I know a lot of people kind of dogging him as well.
I think he's doing okay. He has a new coordinator, new system, kind of. I'm not quite sure what the new coordinator has going. Now, I don't remember which sports analyst said it, but I agreed with him. I'd rather win games and learn what you can do better to outlast your opponents than learn from losses. They're not playing their best. They could do better on offense, but I felt like they definitely missed some chances. But someone else said that he looks scared. I don't know if he really is scared, but it's a new system, and everyone was surprised last year on what they could do. And I think this year is just more of we know what you're capable of, and there's more film on you, so there's a little more preparation from other teams to face you. Which, speaking of the Monday night curse, I'm afraid of next week because Philadelphia Eagles play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, no, that curse is definitely becoming real because Shaq Thompson with the Panthers, right? He got hurt as well on his Monday night game. So we, I don't know. It seems like what?
There's two again next week.
Yeah, I'm not sure why there's two. I was not a huge fan of the two games on at once on the screen, mainly because it just, and then they had all these other blocks up at the same time. I'm like, come on, guys. Don't be cutting off this game for a 6-3 Carolina game. Matt, talking about a team that played Brendan's last week, how did you guys feel after that matchup?
Can you hear us?
Looks like we might be having Matt, you're on mute.
I know you said there was technical difficulties with the site.
Yeah, it looks like, Matt, you are on mute. Let's see. I don't know if I can unmute him myself.
No, it's something you have to do on screen through the microphone. I had the issue in week 1.
All right, we will go to Ty for now. Ty, how did you feel about the Houston Texans this week?
I think Stroud looked okay. He's going to continue to progress as long as he's healthy. But there's definitely a lot of work to do. So. That's kind of where I have to go for now.
Yeah, and
a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, that game was interesting at the start because obviously you got two rookie quarterbacks facing off. But Richardson leaves early with a concussion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I think we'll have to see him kind of playing a little bit different. You don't want to take the run away because obviously that makes him. But we got to just know how to take hits and win because the Colts need him. I mean, obviously this game they had it in the bag, but They don't want to keep losing him every game.
No. Randy, it'll be nice when they
Brendan,
can
you're
get
on mute.
Taylor back, and we'll see.
How much can you put that on the Texans though? Because he was already in the end zone. They should have not hit him.
Oh yeah, yeah. There was a lot of maybe the player should not have hit the other player this last weekend, including here in Colorado.
Yep.
Travis Hunter taking a hit that clearly was a late hit and ended up being a lacerated liver. Right? Is that what happened?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's out 3 to 5 weeks after
Yeah.
surgery.
I mean, and that could be lethal. Like that, you could.
That is.
Yeah.
They play
so-
Oregon and USC coming up, starting
Well,
conference play.
I mean, that could be like life threatening. That type of.
Well, I mean that too.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, obviously it was a rivalry game. CSU pretty pumped up, but we don't need to be taking cheap shots, guys. I know he has been receiving death threats, which again, I don't think you should be sending no death threats to people like that. You know.
Deion Sanders even came out and defended him and said, he doesn't need to be sending them, so
Yeah.
are receiving them."
well, I think it was just yesterday.
Matt, you're like now.
I think that's what
Your
that popping noise is.
Yeah, your audio's like in and out. It's like popping.
Mhm.
It sounds like popcorn.
Literally.
Yeah.
Popcorn.
All right. Yeah, so that was a big matchup. I think everyone is kind of down on the Buffs now because they didn't blow out CSU, but I think a lot of people forget it is a rivalry game. And much like the NFL, even if the team's bad, they're going to play them close, you know, especially in state like that. CSU has been hearing CU's, hype all week. The Rock is there, all these people. So, Matt, what were you trying to say?
Hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, I had to ditch the AirPods. I guess my battery might be dying on them. No, it just Blackburn. Henry came out, defended him as well. Just said it was a football hit. He didn't blame the guy. I still think it was a cowardly hit. I do think it was a late hit. I get that he was making a play on the player, but under no circumstance should he be receiving death threats. I think it's a little silly that people are out there doing stuff like this. It's unfortunate. But I think who was it, with the Vikings the week before? I think it was the running back Madison who was receiving threats as well and experiencing racism towards him and his family. It's like people don't understand sports doesn't have room for this stuff like that. If you're one of those people, just get out of sports. We don't need you in the world of sports. There's always friendly jantering. Like when I go to hockey games, I have no problem ripping into a Blackhawks fan. You know that, Keegan, but it's all fun and games. At the end of the day, we shake hands and we move on. It's sports.
Yeah, we go to a game and we cheer on Mark Traylor. We yell at the referees or the umpires, depending on the sport. But we wish no harm on anybody. We hope everyone has success in whatever they're doing, and we always are very excited to see people succeeding. Now, this week we did have some people succeeding, one of which was Brendan's old fantasy running back, Swift, with the Eagles now. Almost 200 yards rushing against the Vikings. Like, he went off.
He did for sure.
And just no comment from Brendan or Matt. It just like silence on that.
Well, it's good to have a, speed, running back, but the reason I got rid of him in fantasy was because even though he's a good running back, he was so injury prone that he wasn't reliable enough to, start every week. I liked Swift since out of college. I was super happy when I got him, and I thought he was a good addition, but him being out, half the time is not helpful to a team. which I think is why also the Lions were okay with moving off from him because he's injury prone. So, I mean, he's a great running back when he's in. I still think that the Eagles need a bulldozer of a running back. I think the Falcons are, even though the Falcons need to start using the receiver and tight end better, they have the right idea with their running backs of let's have a wrecking ball and a speedster. And I think it's good to have that 1-2 punch of those running backs. And so we'll see. Gainwell's there and Penny's there. So
No.
Yeah, and with running backs, I think that's always a big position of need, be it NFL or fantasy. And again, we had some injuries this week. So, Matt, how are you handling the injuries to your running backs this week?
Well, unfortunately, Brendan found out I may have to hold off on a trade
I
that
did.
was potentially going to be made. I will be holding on to Jonathan Taylor, and hopefully he'll be coming back sooner than later, whether it's via
Like an hour ago.
he works something out with Indianapolis, but I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe he ends up in Cleveland. Who knows?
Yeah, and then we also saw Cam Akers healthy scratch. He probably is going to get traded, it seems like, from the Rams. And we knew even last year, it seems like him and McVay just not getting along for whatever reason. And so that's why earlier this year I did pick up their backup. So I'm happy I made that move because Montgomery got hurt for me as well. And I was just like, dang.
Well, and then with the sloppy play of Zach Wilson, talks now out of Minnesota, or maybe the Jets and Vikings could work out a trade to send Kirk Cousins to New York, and maybe we pick up a draft pick. Who knows that way as well, or maybe we make that trade. We'll go ahead and take Rodgers next year. Might as well complete the Favre move. You went to New York to play for the Jets and go ahead and come into Minnesota. So welcome with open arms, Aaron Rodgers to Minnesota.
Right. Yeah, no, that Zach Wilson game was pretty tough. I know week one, it wasn't the best highlights, and we definitely credited Garrett Wilson for the touchdown. But then again, he was playing Dallas this week, and Dallas's defense might be scaring Brendan a little bit. I don't know what he's texted you, Matt, but he might be texting about the Dallas Cowboys defense. Oh man, Mike was in Parsons just after that sack, just like crawling on the ground. I was just like, dang.
Yeah, Chubb going out for Cleveland was a huge blow. For sure.
Yeah, and Watson did not look comfortable, and I don't know if that's because obviously he hasn't played very much in a couple of years.
Oh no, the defense had him scared shitless, dude.
Yeah, but still, that defense let who did they lose to big last week? The 49ers. Purdy ran all over that defense, and you'd think Deshaun Watson could outperform Purdy, but no. Again, it's a division rivalry game. But yeah, Watson, there was a couple plays where it was just like he was making Zach Wilson-esque throws.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird. Ever since all the accusations and all that stuff coming out, he hasn't looked the same in his return.
Mm-mm.
So.
And isn't it crazy? They almost try to trade Jalen Hurts and Tua for Deshaun Watson. Like, imagine how much different those two teams would have been.
Well, they tried to get Russ last year too, or 2 years ago. So I mean,
that would have been the stupidest trade in history.
Brendan's just got to bring it back on topic. All right, back to our Russell Wilson topic.
Full circle here.
Yeah, I swear the Denver fans probably hate us, but they got to see it, right? They got to see. I mean, yeah, he hasn't made as many turnovers this year so far. Actually, he's made as many interceptions. But he's made a couple fumbles that they actually got back thanks to penalties on the opposite team. So kind of lucky there too.
We're safe right now. Fans here in Denver are ripping the team up and down, left and right, but they're blaming all the wrong reasons.
And remember, he's putting up numbers, Matt. Putting up numbers.
Yep. And those W's look good. I tell you what, man. Broncos are going to go to the Super Bowl with this 0-2 record.
Yeah.
They play Miami this week. And Miami's defense is good.
I think Tua smokes the Broncos defense, man. They're going to go off on Denver.
Yeah, Powell can have that type of game. And Tyreek knows Denver. I can't wait for Tyreek to run a 80-yard touchdown.
Left and right, man.
Come on, GOAT.
And they did say this week that Tua is actually a front runner for MVP.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's on pace to throw an amazing amount of yards this year. If he continues, it would easily break the record for most passing yards.
If he and Cheetah can stay healthy, that offense is going to be dangerous.
Yeah, Tyreek is the GOAT of wide receivers, Matt.
They have Mozart too, right?
Yeah, for running back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Waddle. I got worried there in that game because it looked like Waddle got hurt, but he came back. Because that would be a big.
It's just a dangerous team when it comes to the passing side of the game. You know, Tua's got so many threats out there. Unfortunately, Pat Surtain can't cover both sides of the field, so that's why Denver gets destroyed.
Right, who's he going to cover this week, do you think? Is it going to be Hill or is it going to be Waddle?
I think they're going to put him on Hill. You got to put the best against the best.
Come on, go.
Put him against, say, and put Surtain against Hill.
Yes.
Over.
Be a great matchup there.
Yeah, and I think Simmons actually would do really well covering Waddle.
I don't know. I mean, the Broncos, I know the defense is getting some blame, and obviously the defense isn't going to play well when they're out there more than they should be. But that Washington team looked like hot garbage, and they won that football game.
Yep.
I texted in we have a group chat for anyone watching, but I texted that our DC team, so our high school football team, who looked pretty bad this week, could have beat the Washington Commanders. And then I went to ate dinner, came back, and they had tied the game, and I was like, what has happened?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Are people gonna start getting mad that they don't get free donuts because of the Broncos, you think?
People get free donuts anyways. You know how many people walk around that store eating a donut? Go up front. You gonna pay for the donut? What donut are you talking about?
The donut you were eating in aisle 5. That wasn't me.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, so we'll get to fantasy a little bit. Because obviously Brendan won. Not a surprise there. 2-0. He's a team that's had success. But this year, the other 3 2-0 teams might surprise some people. But I'm happy to see it. I'm always excited to see some new teams winning. One of which was the South Park Cows pulling off a close win last week against Desert Dogs. And then we had the Cryptid Critters. So David, brand new team too, 2-0. So good drafting always helps. And then last but not least, Dark Horse, who's already called the championship victory. He says he's going to play David in our league chat. Brendan, do you have anything to say about that?
Oh.
Ty, do you have anything? Do you think Dark Horse is going to play David in the championship? He said,
if the play keeps up like this, then yes.
Whoa, Ty's calling it, Brendan.
Yeah, if the play keeps up like this, I mean, and people stay healthy, I could see that matchup. I mean, it's too early to call anything right now because it's only 2 games in. But I think by the time we get to week 5, we'll have a better look at things.
Matt, do you have anything to say? Because you got to feel a little bit more secure in your playoff standings now that you're 1-1 versus 0-2. So
Yeah.
do you have anything to say about this proposed matchup now that you've been disqualified from the championship, apparently?
Sure. I got just what my name says. Thundercats, ho! You know, we're going to do this, baby. This team is not dead. We're coming for you. We got, like Deion Sanders says, I got my receipts. I'm ready to pay them out, you know. I take receipts.
You hear that, Brendan? He's coming to Kansas.
I'm going to go to Blake first.
I don't think you played Blake in
Bowling.
the season.
No, we don't
Once your
play.
hand is fixed, come. Let's go bowling. I would love to have some real competition here.
You know it, man. I'm still recovering from that broken arm, but I will be up there and ready to rock and roll here soon.
Yeah, no, that is. I mean, I could see Dark Horse played well. David's played really well. Obviously, they're both getting production out of young talent. South Park Cows, again, another team, Shane.
Oh,
Just some drafting. He did get a running back this week because unfortunately his got hurt. So he was able to pick up a running back. But I don't know. I think it, again, just comes down to injuries. We've already seen 3 major ones on 3 Monday Night Football games. So I think it's still super early. Now,
There's only week 2. We got 12 weeks to go. There's
yeah,
too much time left.
and 10 teams make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
So first week of the playoffs, only 4 teams will be playing. The rest will have bye weeks. So it's kind of like a play-in game in a way.
Okay.
We'll see how good Blake's team really is in a few weeks when I play him week 7.
There you go. He goes up against the big dogs.
Well, the big dogs don't be forcing beer out of me now.
But again, you figured you look at the early season, not just preseason, but injuries in the first couple of weeks. That's going to play a big part of it.
Right.
If people get hurt.
Well, and Blake needs to be careful too. I mean, the Denver Broncos could have easily started. You know, I think they had Mike Evans on the bench
Yep.
and Ryan Tannehill. That was 72 points right there on the bench. The Broncos would have handled some Blake business. The Broncos should be 2-0, not Blake.
Yep.
Me and Brendan did talk about the best overall possibility of projections. We were looking at both teams. So, yeah, 2-0, Bob, wasn't too far away. How are you regrouping this week? What's your
my app crashed and I won't let me get back into it. Crashed.
Your app crashed? I
Yeah.
saw you dropped a player today, though.
Yeah, it crashed. So I couldn't. I was trying to get it back, and I can't. When I tried to press those arrows, it wouldn't go. I don't know what's wrong with it. With the app or something's wrong with it. It like crashed on me.
Yeah, I've had to do it.
Having
I've had to
issues.
do it through the internet. My app's not working either.
Yep.
Well, here's the other thing too, Bob. You got a player on your bench that has no team, so you have a guy who's sitting in the free agency on your team.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back. I don't know how to get back into the app though.
You got to
Because
click
the app
on
crashed.
Well,
make sure it's updated too through the app management app thing. Make sure it's an updated app.
Mhm.
I don't think it's a
Yeah.
terrible thing. You know, Kareem Hunt is sitting on somebody's bench, and with the injury to Chubb, I think it's a smart thing to have him because he already knows the Brown system.
Yep,
So
as I say, Hunt could
Browns
be
might be calling him.
you know.
Yeah. Well, and let's look at some of the matchups this week. I mean, Bob faces off against the 1-1 Sun Hitters, who were nearly the highest scoring team last week by 3 points.
Yep.
So that should be a good matchup. Brendan trying to go 3-0 against the 0-2 Blueberry Bulldogs, not Blue Dogs, who scored 150 some points and still lost last week. So that should be a good matchup. Let's see. Desert Dogs versus the Thundercats, a classic dogs versus cats matchup. Now, how do you feel going? Because this should be a pretty good matchup between you two.
Oh yeah, but I mean, right now it's projected to be very close, within 9 points, of a finish here. So it all depends on starting quarterback Joe Burrow again is questionable. He is every week it seems like, but he always manages to play. But it just depends on how the quarterbacks play. You got Lawrence going up against Houston. Houston doesn't have the greatest defense, so I've been very impressed with Lawrence. So the Dogs could be good there. And Christian McCaffrey, I tell you what, man, just when you think he's slowing down, he comes back and has another power performance and just takes care of business.
Well, he turns on the Jets for sure, dude.
Yeah. Well, that and then my Najee Harris. I mean, I was excited to get him up in a trade last year, and just he has not panned out. He's kind of one of those running backs that, did we get too excited too fast for him? Is he
Is he a Trent Richardson?
Yeah. I hope not. I mean, there's a lot of hope there, but we'll see.
Right. And then we look at Ty. He is sitting at 0-2, but Ty, you have a chance this week. I mean, somebody called their shot. They're going to win the Super Bowl this year for our fantasy, but you have a shot to beat them. Will you beat Dark Horse? What is your plan of attack?
To be honest with you, dude, I got to take a look at it and see what I have, because I know I have a couple questionable injuries. Mark Andrews has been hurt for Baltimore.
Might be trying to go for some free agents or trades, you're saying?
Probably free agency at this point.
I got a tight end for trade or two.
Yeah, and I know Shane, South Park Cows, was offering a trade for a tight end. So if that is a route you're looking for, you do have some options for trade.
And I still have a decently healthy roster, but I do need to look at picking somebody up.
And Brendan, kind of going back up to your matchup, you're trying to go 3-0. It does say you're going to kill the Bulldogs, but again, Bulldogs not projected to really do anything last week. Came back and had a pretty good matchup. How are you feeling this week?
I'm feeling okay. I hope my team does a little better, but we'll see what happens in the long run. Had a couple disappointing spots, but I do have to watch my number 2 receiver, Devontae Adams, might have concussion, so I might need to find a new flex. See how Ridley's doing. I know he took a pretty hard hit against the field goal post. I know they're padded, but still didn't look the best. So my receivers might be hurting a little, but always looking to improve running back position. I don't love my running backs, but they're getting the job done, so I guess I shouldn't complain too bad.
Right.
Back-to-back weeks of highest score in our league, so
Don't get too cocky. You know what happened.
I know. I'm trying to calm down a little bit. That's why I had no comment to Blake.
We've seen what happens with the Bats when they said
Right.
champion Bats that year, and then they won one game.
That's why I'm trying to keep a level-headed and be like, no comment.
Right. Yeah, no, I think we have some cool matchups. Who do I play? I didn't even check my game. I'm still focused on everyone else.
You play Jill.
Ooh, and her team. Ooh, that was a comeback game for the ages last week.
Yeah.
Almost 100-point difference there. So I don't know. I'm hoping my team stays healthy. I know Montgomery's hurt, but I don't think he's supposed to be hurt for long. But I did have to re-pick up my halfback.
Montgomery's out 2 to 3 weeks, dude.
Yeah, and then Metcalf might be. Akers isn't playing, so. Hey, Kamara comes back. I should be okay again. Hopefully. Yeah, I don't know. We another thing we recently uploaded to the channel, sports related, was our vintage baseball game experience at the Littleton Museum. Colorado is part of a vintage baseball association and has a bunch of teams. We got to see the Littleton Rough and Readies playing against the All-Star Club of the Colorado Territory. It was actually pretty neat, wasn't it, Matt?
Yeah, no, I very much enjoyed the game myself. I know you did as well. Some different roles that, way back then, kind of crazy. You think today, like, what the heck were they thinking when they came up with that role?
Right. Yeah, so the ball was live. They had to just jump over fences, go get it no matter what. One bounce, they catch it, then it's an out. The ball's heavier, it's bigger.
How much would that change the game today if one bounce and you were out?
Right. Yeah, well, and here, let me pull up the book so I can show you. I'm reading a book right now that we'll do a review on the channel, so anyone that's watching, you'll be able to see. But it's called Glory of Their Times. Can you guys see that? That is the book I'm reading, and it's about baseball in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And yeah, it's very much different. There's a lot of talk about how much bigger the fields were back then. The fields are smaller now, so it's easier to hit the home runs. People are less stealing bases like they were. The ball's heavier back in the day. All their uniforms, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of changes. I do recommend it. It's a cool book. If you haven't read it, go pick it up, read it. It's fun. I was telling Matt there's a story right off the bat about one of the baseball players who is sleeping in fields and on trains covered in soot just to get to the game to make maybe $5. And then they just played him, didn't even pay him, so he had to go back home, and then somebody paid him a couple dollars to play. So, yeah, much different game than what we see today. Especially with the donkey on the field, right?
Right, and then the protesting and everything.
Yeah, something we'll definitely probably do again is try to check out more of these. I know the Laramie, what is that one? Wyoming Penitentiary Museum. What is that one called? We've done a vlog. I'll pop up a link. You guys can go check it out. But up in Laramie, they have the prison that Butch Cassidy stayed in. They do these matchups there. Canyon City did some, like a tournament, and Victor did a tournament. So it actually is a pretty big thing. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. We can recommend it. It was a lot of fun. Something else you guys are going to get a little tease for is we recently went to the CV DC homecoming game. Fun as always, though. Matt's side, probably not as fun seeing how the Huskies played. Whereas for me, I was totally fine with it, being that I went to Castleview. But you guys would be seeing that. It's always fun. Friday Night Lights rivalry game.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It's fun being caught up in the camaraderie,
Yeah. So we're definitely trying to bring some more sports related content for you guys outside of just these sports chats and shorts that we're doing. If you guys are up in Laramie here at the end of the month, September 30th, and want to hang out with Matt and I, feel free. We will be at War Memorial Stadium for Wyoming's homecoming game, playing New Mexico, which is kind of fun because it's the two states we've been to this year, right? Wyoming and New Mexico. So yeah, those are some things we got upcoming. Bob, any predictions for the week that's upcoming?
I hope we beat Miami, but I think they're a tough team, boy. But I think if we win, it won't be by much. It'll be by a field goal.
And any predictions with fantasy this week?
If I can get back into it, man, I'm trying. It crashed.
Okay, we technical difficulties. Brendan, any NFL predictions for the week?
I don't know who plays who yet, so honestly, I'm not quite sure NFL-wise.
All right, here, we'll just give you our guys' pick. I will pull it up, and we will go through, and we will pick them. NFL Week 3 schedule. Let's see what we get. All right, let's see. All right, so Thursday's matchup, Brendan, we will start with you. New York Giants at San Francisco 49ers. Who you got?
49ers.
Bobby?
Giants.
All right, Ty. Matt?
Oh, 49ers are going to destroy New York.
All right, so that's 49ers for me as well. So I think consensus pick for our little channel, 49ers. Next matchup, Tennessee at Cleveland. Brendan.
I think Tennessee.
All right,
Cleveland
Bobby.
hasn't played hot, so
Especially without Chubb.
Tennessee.
Ty.
After losing Chubb, I got to go Tennessee because Watson's not looking good at all.
Matt.
It's going to be probably a low-scoring game, man. Cleveland's at home. I think they want. It's just hard to say, man. I think Cleveland wins this one in a low-scoring fest here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Cleveland too. But it looks like consensus for our channel, Tennessee. But I do think Cleveland in that matchup. Next matchup, this one's interesting. Atlanta at Detroit. Brendan.
Ooh.
Detroit. They're the better complete team. I don't think Atlanta knows how to use their offensive weapons properly, so I think they've lucked out on their 2 wins that they have, and I think Detroit's the better team overall.
And Bobby.
I'm going to go Detroit.
Ty.
Yeah, I got Detroit as well.
Uh-oh,
Maybe
Matt.
not by much, but
Yeah, I'm sticking with the feline family. I'm a Thundercat. Why not get the Lions up in the column of the victories?
All right, I'm going Lions too. Clean sweep, first one, and it goes to Detroit. Here's
that whole
another one.
division kind of is a toss-up now.
Here's one: New Orleans at Green Bay. Brendan.
Yeah, we're both twins because we're both named Henry.
That one's a hard one.
Henry 1, I'm Henry 2.
I think Green Bay, though.
Okay, Bobby.
Green Bay.
Ty.
I would say Green Bay in a close one.
All right, this is where it gets interesting. Matt, as a Viking fan, Green Bay or New Orleans?
I ain't cheering for New Orleans. That's for damn sure. Let's go Green Bay on this one.
All right, I'm gonna try to break the mold and say New Orleans. Oh, I know. Oh, here we go.
Hitting team, man.
Here we go. The matchup we've all been waiting for. Brendan. It is Mr. Unlimited himself, the best there is in the whole NFL, in his mind only. Mr. Unlimited taking on the Miami Dolphins. Now, do you think Russell Wilson or the Miami Dolphins win this one?
If Herbert can't beat the Dolphins, there's no way Russell's going to beat the Dolphins.
Bobby.
Us by 3.
All right, Ty.
Same. I think I'd go Broncos by 6.
Matt.
Oh, let's go with them sea animals. That dolphin. Greatest movie, Ace Ventura. Dolphins win this one, baby.
Keegan, your tiebreaker.
Oh, you know where I'm going. The GOAT of wide receivers, Mr.
Justin Jefferson?
Tyreek Hill. Not
You're
Tyreek
going
Hill.
Fins.
Tyreek Hill is still the best there is right now. And you know what? I'm going to throw out this prediction. It might be wrong. 300 yards for Tyreek against the Denver Broncos. How about that?
At least it's not against me.
All right, talking about Justin Jefferson, talking about Justin Herbert. We have the Chargers taking on the Vikings, Brendan.
Both 0-2 teams, surprisingly. So someone is going to get a win.
Someone
Maybe.
has to win.
You think?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe
There
it might
are
be a
guys
tie.
in the NFL, man.
I hope Justin Jefferson gets his first touchdown and Vikings win.
Bobby?
Minnesota.
Where'd it go?
Hi.
Minnesota.
Come on, you guys let me use my
All
power.
right, Mr. Minnesota himself, Matt.
I think we're going to see a fun game here. I think it's going to be high score on both sides. It's going to be very similar, I think, to week 1 when the Chargers played. Who was it? When they just went back and forth. Miami, yeah. I think it's going to be very similar here. Neither team can stop, the ball, so why not just put up the points? But I think the Dolphins win not the Dolphins. Just like the Dolphins, the Vikings win in a squeaker, but it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, you're gonna have Keenan Allen against Justin Jefferson. So
Yeah, no, I will have to say the Vikings as well. And I think a lot of it comes down to coaching. Both have talent. People might take Herbert over Cousins, but I think coaching is better with Minnesota, so I think they find a way to win it. And that brings us to a matchup that probably looked a lot better on paper a few weeks ago. New England Patriots at the New York Jets. Brendan.
Everyone, where are your calculations going? Twin brother, where are your calculations?
When you say Patriots, they were able to keep up with the Dolphins. I mean, I know it's a divisional game, but so is this one. So, and I don't know.
Everyone, you want me to try to take the leader?
All right, Bobby.
I go New England.
All right, Ty.
if Juice Gardner and Zach Wilson can come together, I'm going New York.
Hold on.
Matt.
This way.
Well, dude, Aaron Rodgers is throwing for 350 easily in this game. Jets take it all day, baby. Oh, wait, that was until the week 1 injury. I think this is going to be New England all the way. Zach Wilson has not proved himself as a quarterback. So until he can show up and prove us wrong, I'm not picking, him to win it. So New England's going to take this game.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go New England. I mean, they were super close, almost. Some people might say, was there enough evidence to actually reverse that call on Sunday night? But I will say New England here. Ooh, that brings us to a Thundercat and Wyoming quarterback, Josh Allen, and the Buffalo Bills taking on the Washington Commanders. Brendan.
Bills.
Bobby.
Washington.
Ty.
Bills all day on that one.
Ty's face when that was said. He was, no, it's not happening. Matt.
Yeah, I just don't know about Washington. Washington can't really be trusted, dude.
I'm really hoping this is the game where Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs get back in sync with each other. Because so far, the two of them have not been that terrible tandem that you look for. I think if the two of them hook it up this week and just score a lot of points, Bills are going to show Denver how it's done, and they're going to take care of Washington soundly.
Yeah, and you know us here at Culz, we love going up to Wyoming. We love supporting Josh Allen. And so definitely going to have to say Buffalo Bills. Probably, like Matt said, at least by 2 touchdowns in this one.
Yeah, Commanders can't exactly be trusted no matter what.
Right.
And they're lucky they got the win over Denver.
And here's another, could be a toss-up. I do think one team's better, but you never know in division games. Jacksonville, Houston, Brandon.
I think Jacksonville. They're the most complete team. Ridley could catch a ball last game, they could have beaten the Chiefs. Chiefs haven't been doing much this year.
Bobby,
I go Houston in an upset.
Ty.
I get I'm a Houston fan, but right now I can't bank on it, right? So I'm gonna go Jacksonville this week.
Matt.
Like I said, right now I can't go against the Cats right now. I got to go with another Cat family member. Let's go with these Jaguars to maul the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
With a healthy Lawrence and a healthy ETN.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Jacksonville as well in that one. Next up is Indianapolis, which we don't know for sure if Anthony Richardson will be playing, versus the Baltimore Ravens. Brendan.
That's a hard one. I think Ravens. I don't know. The Colts could upset them. But
Bobby.
Baltimore by 7.
Ty.
Baltimore for sure.
Matt.
Well, it goes back to what you said. It all depends on if Richardson starts. If Richardson's in, I think we see the upset and the Colts beat the Ravens. But if he's out, I got the Ravens winning the game.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to go against Louisville. Obviously, Lamar's from Louisville, big player there. And they haven't quite gotten on track, been able to win still, so I think they come out with a victory here. Whew. Next one up, you know where I'm going on this one. Carolina at Seattle. Brendan.
Seattle. I don't know if I trust Carolina. They're too young. Too many new pieces being meshed together. They need a year.
Bobby.
Seattle.
Ty.
Carolina.
Whoa. Uh-oh. Matt, are you going to continue the Cat trend?
I can't break it this week. I'm going to stick with my Cats. Panthers with an upset up in Seattle,
That would be.
We're going up to the Northwest,
I also look at the addition of Thielen. It's really going to help them out.
Yeah, I'm going Seattle.
Talking about a dynamic quarterback out there in Carolina. He's just got to get his feet under him. But I think, out of this year's rookies quarterbacks, I think Carolina's got, one of the ones that's going to become a top-tier quarterback.
Yeah, I think get him some more weapons. And it's just he didn't have a ton to throw to last week. But I'm still going Seattle. Ooh, another one. I think I know where this one's going. Kansas City and Chicago. Brendan.
I hate to say it, but Kansas City.
Brings back all those memories of people running into, stoplights and driving over curbs, doesn't it, Brendan?
Yeah.
Bobby?
I go, oh God, upset.
You're going Chicago?
Yep.
All right, Ty.
This one is tough because I know Kelsey's not 100%, even though he looked decent this last week. But good, dude. If Edwards-Helaire's going to have a good week, we're going KC.
All right, Matt.
Dude, I can only pick, same division opponents a few times. I'm not going to do it every time this week. Bears get, euthanized here by Kansas City.
Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, because, man, I like Fields. I love Chicago, everyone knows. But I'm going to have to say Kansas City as well on this one. All right. We got another tough one for one fan base as we see Dallas traveling to Arizona. Brendan.
I see a lot of people being like, oh, Dallas is back and Dallas is this and that. And then I look at their first 3 weeks and I go, My high school team could have beat these guys.
Whoa.
No wonder you guys are putting up 70 points in 2 weeks. I mean, you're playing Pee-wee football over here versus high school. I mean,
They did play the Broncos.
Dallas is going to win, but I mean,
Could you imagine? Does Dallas play Denver this week or this year?
No.
Because I would love to see that. I would love to see that defense
No.
face off
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do.
The Broncos play the NFC North this year.
Well, I think the Broncos played the Commanders because I know
Well, you
Philly
get the
plays
20
Kansas
teams
City.
in the division, right? It's
Well,
based
for the
off your
17th
position,
week,
right?
you play one random team.
But I think it's based off your position. Because remember when the Broncos and Patriots were always first in each of their divisions? That's why
Right.
we seem to play the Patriots every year. So I think Broncos and Washington both finished last week. That's why they met up this year. And Kansas City and Philadelphia, obviously, two of the better teams, were able to meet up this year too.
Yeah. So Dallas would go to Chargers.
Yeah.
I'm
They
trying
both
to,
finished second.
yeah, I'm trying to look. I'm just trying to do a fact check. So, Brendan, I know you're an Eagles fan. Does this have any influence on how you're picking Dallas's game?
No, I just think Dallas is a better team than Arizona. So obviously Dallas is going to beat Arizona, but
Bobby,
I just think it's stupid that all the Cowboys fans are like, "Oh, we're back, and we've played the 3 worst teams in the league."
I gotta go Dallas.
Ty.
Tough one because Arizona's not that good. After they lost to D Hop, yeah, they might still have Kyler. But
Not this year.
I'm gonna go Dallas on this one.
Matt.
Well, like similar to what Brandon was saying, Cowboys are playing the easiest schedule right now. They're playing another Pop Warner football team in Arizona, so Dallas will have no problem beating the Cardinals to move to 3-0. But we'll see how it fares when they play some real teams coming up soon.
Yeah, I'll say Dallas on this one as well. Sunday night next week, Pittsburgh traveling to Las Vegas, taking on the Raiders. Brendan.
I'll say the Steelers.
Bobby.
Be able to.
Ty.
Go Pittsburgh.
Matt.
Oh man, that's a tough one. This is one I think is going to be one of the tougher ones in the week. I right now feel pretty confident in Pittsburgh. Garoppolo, first week looked great against the Broncos, and then he played. I don't know. I think Pittsburgh wins this one though.
Yeah, Garoppolo seemed to turn to the old San Francisco Jimmy G deal. He just kind of fell apart. I mean, the only good thing that came out of the Raiders then was Josh Jacobs.
I agree.
I mind you, the Raiders' receiving core is falling apart. They have 2 receivers out, and I mean, it said Devontae Adams was fine, but he still has a concussion, and Mullins has a concussion, so there's no receiving core. And the Raiders shipped off their best tight end.
Yeah, I guess that is one thing we didn't mention earlier. Back-to-back weeks with concussions involving Denver. Same player too. I mean, again, could be coincidence, but Matt shook his head there.
Nope, I think Kareem Jackson he's starting to have a history of being a dirty player. I don't.
Getting hit was bad on Sunday.
Well, I mean, the hit he had like 2 weeks or last week was a bad hit. I mean, you can't do stupid hits like that 2 weeks in a row. I mean, I just got to think about that, man. Come on.
Yeah, and I know there has been a lot of talk about what happened in New Orleans. We're not going to say nothing, but I know around Colorado there has been a rumbling of that just amongst people on the streets. So who knows what happens this week? Hopefully nothing. Hopefully it was all just unlucky plays. But yeah, that was something we forgot to mention. But we will head into Monday night, which has been unlucky.
Well, yeah, and you get another stupid doubleheader too.
Oh, I know. I hate these doubleheaders. But Brendan is excited for at least one of them. Philadelphia taking on Tampa Bay. 2-0 Baker Mayfield. Maybe outplaying Hurts so far this year. How do you feel about that, Brendan?
I'm surprised Baker's doing so well. Honestly, I didn't expect him to be able to lead the Buccaneers to 2-0. But I think the Eagles will pull it out. Squeaking wins by who the Bucs have this year. It's not like they're blowing teams out. It's not like they're putting on a dominant force. So I think, I think the Eagles will win.
All right, Bobby.
I like Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia.
Ty.
Philly.
Matt.
It kills me to say this because just not a fan of this team really at all. But I think Philly takes care of Tampa Bay. It's just you got too many weapons with the Eagles. I still think they're a very dangerous team. They just need to find their way that they had last year, and they'll be fine.
All right, I'm gonna try to be a renegade with this pick. And it hurts me to say it because I have two wide receivers in fantasy from Philadelphia. But Tampa Bay's defense is playing good. Their offense is clicking. It's in Tampa Bay. I'll say it's close, but I think Tampa Bay pulls off this one. And it brings us to the final matchup, and another matchup featuring a cat as the Rams travel to big old Cincinnati with their fuzzy boots and play the Bengals. Brendan.
I almost want to say the Rams. Joe Burrow re-injured his calf. I don't know how well
that wasn't a pretty injury.
Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon haven't shown up this year either. So Higgins is showing out for his contract deal. There's a lot of talk about Higgins leaving Cincinnati and going somewhere else. I've heard a few different teams want him, including Carolina. So I think Higgins is the only good Bengal currently. So I'm going to say the Rams.
Bobby?
I'm going Rams too.
All right, Ty?
Yeah, I know Cup's out, but there's still plenty of weapons in LA, so let's go Rams.
All right, Matt, are you breaking the Cats tradition, or are you going Bengals?
Absolutely not. I think this is a game where both teams should be way better than they are right now. They're both struggling. Stafford looks like the Stafford the Bears drafted, where they were in the middle of the years, or Lions. Yeah, not Bears, Lions. He looks it's a lost game, man. I think Bengals get that home field advantage, and that's the reason why they win it. But otherwise, I mean, this game's probably not going to be on my TV. I'm not looking forward to either of, I mean, again, I'm not a big Eagles fan, but I think I'm going to tune into that game for my Monday night matchup.
Yeah, I'm going to go Cincinnati. At some point, they got to pull together. I think this is the week, especially in prime time, get Joe Mixon rolling. Plus the Rams having some internal strife right now between coaches and players. We'll see what happens, but there's our week 3 picks. We got some some college football as well. Matt, you looking forward to college this week?
Oh yeah, college football right now is amazing. I think we're going to have a great matchup with the CU Buffs and the Oregon Ducks. You know, this is going to be the real test again. CU's got to put up, in the first since week 1 against TCU. So we'll see how they handle adversity now that you have Hunter out. It's going to be exciting. Again, CU Boulder, Coach Prime is turned Boulder into the hottest place in college football right now. So, every week they're in a primetime game, and it looks like it just got picked up that Fox is going to do their kickoff show in Boulder again next week when the Trojans come to town. So it's another 10 a.m. kickoff.
Oh, dang it, we're not here next week.
I know, right? It's like, well, shoot, that's the week we go to Wyoming, man. Maybe we can talk them into coming up to Wyoming and watching the Lobos and the Cowboys with us,
Yeah. I'll tell you, if Wyoming had pulled off that upset this week, they might be. That would have been a huge upset.
All right, well, just think if the Trojans win and the Buffs win, both teams are probably potential top 10 teams. So that's going to be a huge matchup next week if the Buffs can beat the Ducks.
And who knows? Maybe if you guys are watching this, maybe you might just see us this Saturday up in Boulder.
That'd be awesome.
It ain't too far away. Me and Matt, I'll pick up Matt. We'll drive right up to big old Boulder, hang around.
They're up in Oregon, so we'll have to crash some of the sports bars or the frat houses, that are having the watch parties.
Pretty darn sure.
Yeah. No, I know they're gonna have a lot up there. That's why I was like, maybe this is the week. We'll just go walk around. Last week was super crazy. Now,
chicken and low
Brendan, close game last week with Texas. For a while, it was going in the 4-10-10, and then they pulled away at the end. They're ranked number 3. Who are they playing this week?
Baylor. They start conference play.
You think they're just going to murder them?
So
and lo mein noodles.
Bobby, how do you feel about CSU?
I think they're a bunch of dirty players. That's what happened last week. You can't hit a guy like that in the leg and stuff like that and spleen. You just can't hit some, Somebody.
Yeah, no. We do not endorse late hits like that. Obviously, we also don't endorse the negativity that he's receiving. Yes, he should not have done the play and also flexed over Hunter.
I don't know.
But it's a game. We don't need to be sending letters or anything like that. Don't do it, guys. It's not nice. Ty, Iowa. How do you feel about them this week?
They're actually predicted to upset Penn State by 10. So we'll see.
And then is Ohio State playing Notre Dame this week?
Yep.
That'll be a good game.
That's going to be one of the big ones this week. Yep. I think it's the biggest one. When you look at the rest of the top 15, there's no other bigger matchups than this one here with Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Right.
You got your battle of the next year's Pac-12 with the only remaining teams, Oregon State and Washington State, playing each other. And then I think your other fun matchup, how about number 15 ranked Mississippi playing number 13 ranked Alabama? Who would have thought Alabama would be out of the top 5? So here they are at 13 playing a 15th ranked Mississippi team. That could be a fun one to watch.
Are they dead? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's time for the Tide to kind of hit their low. Every team has it. Texas has had years where they just look unstoppable for years. Michigan has had it. Right now, Georgia has it. Georgia's, continuing to dominate. So, I don't know. Alabama, I think, is starting to hit that rewind button, and maybe it's time that Saban, I don't know.
Now, quick hypothetical. What?
Alabama just needs a quarterback. Both their quarterbacks suck and can't run.
Yeah.
Right.
Anything.
See, that's where I was going. Quick hypothetical, Matt. If there was a weird way that they could, get a quarterback out of Denver, his name was Russell Wilson, do you think they would actually be worse than they are right now?
I don't think Alabama would want that. They'd be like, yeah, we're going to have to, like, let you pass on that.
Yeah.
Even if you donated money to the school, we're just going to go ahead and let you walk, you know?
So you're saying even Alabama, in need of a quarterback, would turn down Russell Wilson? He still needs to go up to Canada, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think he would look great in some Canadian colors, man. Strap on the red and white and put the maple leaf and go for it, you know? Bunch of friendly people up there. He's a baby kisser. He'll fit in perfectly.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and Louisville, I think, has a chance to go 4-0 this week. They play Boston College, so don't know a whole lot about
No
Boston
good.
College, but I think Louisville can do it.
No, over the last couple of weeks, Boston College hasn't looked good at all. They've been dominated. So
It does scare me. It's kind of a trap game. I mean, last week's IU game was closer than I thought it would be, but we'll see. But that's kind of our updates for the week. Maybe next week we'll fill in a little bit of wrestling or stuff like that. Before we end off, we got to always talk to Matt and get his updated quarterback rankings. This week we did see some new quarterbacks. We saw the Castleview Sabercats quarterback, the Douglas County Huskies quarterback. Do you think they're both ranked higher than Russell Wilson?
Yes, even though the Douglas DC quarterback couldn't hold on to the ball, I think he would still make more productive plays in the Broncos system here, you know. Broncos go draft this kid. He should be high on your list, you know. Take him.
Well,
check him out.
talking about another home state quarterback that we just saw play, Colorado State. How do you think? I mean, definitely a improvement over Russell Wilson. You think?
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think you could really put any other quarterback below him right now. I almost think Zach Wilson could play better here in Denver. You know, oh Bob, you know, true. Don't moan there. And like you agree, you're not a happy Russell Wilson fan.
No, I'm not. I want to see Jarrett Stidham. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, let's get it started. Let's trade Russell Wilson to Canada and get Jarrett Stidham playing.
Kid's got an arm, you know. Let's see what he does. He's got an arm.
He's got an arm, and you know what else he'll do? He'll put up the numbers, and that's what's important.
I know it was preseason, but he put up numbers. But the way I look at it, you know, the Vikings might tank it this year. You know, let's trade Cousins, get something out of the deal. And Sanders, welcome to Minnesota, my man. You will look great in purple and gold. There's your future quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings.
Hey, I don't think, well, I don't know. Brendan might not want Sanders. He's got Hurts, but I think the rest of us would be okay if our teams ended up with Sanders.
I think any team right now. Kid looks great. He's got a well-oiled machine. He's making the mistakes that you expect a kid to make. But otherwise, I mean, he's putting up big passes. And, again, the Buffs could have easily just kind of folded and let that game go away. They fought till the end, and they found a way to win, and they won. You know, that should have been the same outcome with the Broncos. You find a way to win, and you win. You don't squander the 18-point lead and then, you know, play from behind. It doesn't happen that way too often, you know. But another quick thing before we pass it around to everyone else, another thing that really kind of grinds my gears is, again, you know, how many players have been hurt over the last year on the artificial turf, you know, or synthetic turf. Artificial is, I think, that much shorter stuff Atlanta used to use in St. Louis way back in the day. But, like, lots of players get hurt. But, again, it didn't get brought into the spotlight until the god himself, Aaron Rodgers, got hurt, you know. Why does it take these big star players getting hurt for people to start talking about, oh, we need to make things safer because it's not safe for people to play on this field?
Yeah, that was a big talking point in the Rams leaving St. Louis was the field was hurting people. And it kind of got swept under the rug. A lot of people focus more on the owner just wants to move him to L.A., like maybe he should have done with another team like the Broncos. But yeah, I mean, this conversation has been around, but not in the public zeitgeist like it is now, like Matt said, thanks to Aaron Rodgers. And if anyone's played on turf, they know it is concrete. It doesn't feel the greatest underneath.
And again, I'm not taking anything away from the situation. It is a real life issue, yes. People are getting hurt all over the place with it, but why does it again take? Is it because? And I get it. It's your revenue. Aaron Rodgers was the Jets' revenue this year. They're going to lose a lot of sales now, whether it be in jerseys. Fans may not just come to the game, period, because right now Zach Wilson isn't showing them what they want to see. And, the East Coast fans, Philly, New York, Pittsburgh, they take pride in their team and they show their affection. If the team does bad, they might still show up, but they're wearing paper bags or something, or they just don't show up at all. They take pride in their football. I mean, the East Coast has always been, a blue-collar town. They take pride in it, and they're not going to give you their money to perform.
Yeah, and I guess we did have a couple WWE notes. It sounds like Jade Cargill is going to WWE out of nowhere. I know, out of nowhere, leaving AEW, going to WWE. There's been a lot of rumors of CM Punk going there. If he would go there after apparently he got mad at William Regal for being a Triple H stooge while William Regal was in AEW, we'll have to see. A lot of fences to mend there.
I think it's Ellie's.
Brendan, any thoughts on the wrestling world right now?
I don't know.
I think Punk goes to WWE. I think he comes back at WrestleMania 40. That's what I think he.
I sure as hell hope
I really haven't been keeping up with any of the wrestling stuff. I think Jade Cargill has come out herself and said that she's happy and she would rather not be anywhere else than AEW. So I don't know where the rumors have come from about that. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't really had until recent any way of watching AEW, so I only watch like little snippets, the Instagram or something posts. So I don't really have any comments on or wrestling at the moment.
I'm gonna take over for Bob. If CM Punk were to come back, it's not going to be at WrestleMania 40.
No.
It's going to be at Survivor Series when they're in Chicago, his hometown.
Yep.
Because WWE, if they want to make a bang for their buck and make a lot of money on merchandise, sign Punk for a 2 pay-per-view, 3 pay-per-view thing, kind of like they used to do with Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
And put him out there. You're going to make bank on the merchandise and the ticket sales. And Chicago loves CM Punk. That is their boy.
Oh, look, we have Scott. Scott,
Hey there. Hello, everybody.
Right.
how's it going?
I'm okay. Actually, I'm in my car waiting for my wife to finish shopping at her favorite store. And so who knows when I might have to drop out to go pick her up. So,
Hey, how about those Cardinals giving up 28-point lead?
well, if Indiana would actually go and play a full game instead of just showing up in the second half.
No, I meant Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, the Arizona Cardinals? Yeah. Well, they're the same way. Oop, you know what? I just got a message that said my wife is in the process of checking out. So, tell you what, everybody, whatever it is, I'm winning this week. That's the prediction for this week. All right?
All right, we got it. Desert Dogs is taking down the Thundercats, Matt.
Yeah. Going to have to do a big comeback, but we're down right away, but we'll come back. We're good. All right, guys. Good luck, everybody.
You too, Scott. We had a quick drop in there, guys. Always fun to see people. All right, I forgot where we're at. But yeah, CM Punk, is he worth the hassle now? Because it's been AEW, it's been WWE. And you know I like CM Punk. I think he's a good wrestler, but there's a pattern, right?
Yeah, well, he's a poison. He's a poison in the locker room, and he's somebody that other people just don't want around.
Yeah.
I have one question about CM Punk real quick.
Okay.
Does anyone know? So I heard that he technically had 2 contracts with AEW.
Yeah,
It doesn't
Get
matter.
fired from both of them or
Yeah.
just one?
both.
Okay, because I heard one.
Yeah, no, he was fired from both the like wrestler as well as like the behind the scenes.
Right. He was creator and he was on the creative team and the wrestling.
Yeah.
I just hope that Jack Perry didn't actually get fired and he's just suspended.
I mean, I like Jack Perry. I'm not the same as CM Punk. Obviously, CM Punk a lot more behind him, right? I'm talking like old time list. But I do think Perry has some potential. Same time, it was stupid what he did, right? Live on pay-per-view to I mean, you know what's been going on. It's already kind of a tense situation. Why do you got to do that? So I don't know. I don't know if we'll see Perry back in AEW. But you know what would be a fun thing? We'll have to do this at some point because I know we're working on our top 20 film lists right now. We'll have to do like a top 20 wrestler list of all time, which is hard. As we've seen with The Rock, I mean, I think Rock might be near the top of a lot of people's lists.
Yep.
Which is always so electrifying.
Is he going to be at WrestleMania 40? He probably will be.
Colorado. Welcome back Goldberg first, and we welcome back The Rock. And the crowd didn't disappoint. It was a sellout crowd, and from what I was told, they were louder than anything. You know, they represented us well because Denver, you know, we're not on the WWE's radar for pay-per-views. We're rarely ever there for Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. We get one a year, maybe. We're not quite like the other cities, but I think, you know, with our pop and loudness, hopefully WWE does bring an event back. At some point, I'm hoping for a pay-per-view. I won't hold my breath, though. But if any wrestler I would like to see come over from the AEW, you know, is MJF. I think he's got the right charisma that the WWE needs. So we need a few more guys that know how to talk on the mic, and he's one of the best at it right now.
Yeah, no, MJF has been moving up my list of wrestlers for sure. I don't know if he'd be in my top 20 all time because then you have a lot of obviously Attitude Era wrestlers, early Impact year wrestlers, New Japan, but man, he's going to get there for sure. He's just so good on the mic. He's getting better in the ring. And I still am hoping one day Prince Devitt gets to come back to his like actual name and wrestle in AEW. I think I could see a lot of good matches there. I do enjoy the Judgment Day. I just don't think he's at his full potential quite yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, Shinsuke Nakamura, again, WWE takes some of these absolute superstars and just they don't know what to do with them, and they kind of ruin them a little bit. Shinsuke, I think, should have easily been a champion by now and held the belt for a while.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, WWE fans don't like him. They don't see him as a long-term champ. He just doesn't have it, although he does. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, which is really easy to compare him in New Japan and WWE because you have matches with AJ Styles in both. And his match with AJ Styles at Wrestle Kingdom, fantastic. One of my all-time favorites. Yeah, no, for sure. We got to put this list. Okay, so for all those watching, we are doing our top 20 movie list. We have been recording those. We have Shane's coming out Friday. Matt might have looked scared. He's just doing that for fun. He has been working on it. Brendan hasn't, but Brendan, you're going too, right? We're going to work on a top 20 film list.
I will now that I know of it.
I know.
Like 20 all time, top 20 in the 90s, top 20 win. Like
your top 20 favorite films of old time. I will send you guys the playlist. Shane, his video's coming out Friday. And we do have Andrew and Sam's live on the channel. But yeah, at some point we'll also do top 20 wrestlers of all time. That'll be later.
Yeah.
One I thought we could do as a group, though, was maybe a tier list of CM Punk matches in AEW and rank them.
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of fun because I don't think he has a ton, so I think it'd be an easier one to do. So if you guys want to see that, let us know in the comments below. It is getting close to the end of our show, so we'll kind of just talk about what's upcoming. Obviously, Tuesdays. One of these might be on a Wednesday upcoming this October, but you can catch us live doing our Culz Sports Chat. Like Matt said earlier, like Matt said earlier, we are going up to Wyoming September 30th. So if you're up in Laramie for the homecoming game, come check us. Come check it out with us. Hang out with us. Say hi. Come be in our vlog. We will be doing a sci-fi super show with a bunch of guests. We'll be filming that here shortly, but we will be releasing that in October. October 14th, we have our big presentation at the Castle Rock Eels Club. So if you're in Colorado or close to Castle Rock, come check it out. We'll be watching a movie. I
Yeah.
think Ghostbusters Afterlife. Matt didn't hear me.
Well, it's either the Ghostbusters Afterlife or like I said, Johnny took down that we were watching the new Haunted Mansion for Disney. So we'll see. I mean, movie will be decided, I guess, at that point. We got to see what gets advertised and put out on the flyer itself.
Yeah, and it sounds like we might also be going back to a certain school. I don't want to say too much is not finalized yet, but October's a pretty busy month all of a sudden out of nowhere. Not a bad thing, but if you guys are around any of those, please feel free. Join us. We would love to see you guys in person, hang out, chat. Be a fun time. But any final words before we sign off, Brendan? Happy birthday again.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be an old man, Brendan?
My knees hurt a little more. My back hurts a little more too.
Oh, man.
Man.
Bobby, any final words?
No. Nope.
Ty, how about you?
No, not really.
All right, and Matt?
I just think it's going to be, I don't know, a regular week of football. Nothing like too exciting this week. None of the games like scream out, watch this game, watch this game. Even in college football, you know, I mean, Notre Dame was the most exciting game on the roster. I think this is just your every now and then blah type of week of football.
Oh, and one announcement breaking today, just finalized. Max Hawthorne will be returning to the channel to do a special Fossil Frenzy episode about Megalodon. So if you guys are watching this and have questions, make sure to send them in, and I'll make sure to ask Max for you. But until next time, guys, for more Culz Sports Chat, links will pop up to the left for more here at Culz Paranormal, which was a book review of James B. Mills' Billy the Kid El Bandito Simpatico. Click that link to your right. James will be back in the future. And don't forget to hit that like and give us a subscribe.
So I got a question. So what if I can't get back into my app? Then what do I do? The NFL app.
Delete it and download it again.
I did that, and I'm one.
Yeah, click on forgot my password.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, and then But yeah, thank you guys for joining us as always.
Here too, Bob.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you guys next Tuesday live.
Good boy.